Hi, everybody. Still Blanchette. It's time for the Christmas video. I normally do it on the 25th of the month, and I had bowling yesterday, so I pushed it to today. I almost canceled it today as well because I had dinner with my son and his girlfriend. It was so nice. We went to a new Turkish restaurant here in town, and oh, so Mike was coming down. He turned around and went back up. So must be he heard me talking. Knows it's video time. So anyway, sorry about that. I just got sidetracked for a hot second. So, oh, Linda's on. Hey, Linda, Betty, Julie, thanks for hopping on. Can you see me and hear me okay? I guess that's my first question that I always ask. Besta and Christy are normally the first ones on, or Debbie, and then they tell me. So if any of you that are on can answer, can you see me and hear me? That would be great. So tonight I'm going to use the jar punch and stamp sets. I'm going to actually use both of them. There are two. So I will show you that. And I'm just going to get started. I'm going to turn my camera down here. Let's make sure we're sitting okay. That's the card we're going to make. Let's go in just a smidge. And I think that should be good. Oh, thanks, Linda. It's my, oh, you guys couldn't hear it. You might hear the rattle in my brain if I shook my head hard enough, but I think it has bells on it, but just part of my holiday decor when I do a Christmas video. Um, Always put some weird thing on my head that I got out of my drawer down there. Oh, I probably should have grabbed, oh, maybe Wednesday. Wednesday I'll grab a Halloween decoration. Hey Ann, hey Debbie. So this is the card we're gonna make. Let me show you what it uses. Got the Jar of Joy and the Sweet Jar stamp sets. And it has this coordinating punch. You probably aren't going to be able to see it because of the glare. So it's the jar and the lid. So the Jar of Joy appears to be just kind of winter Christmassy. There's a snowman, some ornaments, gingerbread man, and then it's two-step stamping. But this jar has a outline only for the lid. This stamp set over here has a solid lid. And you have some candles you can put in there, some hearts, you could make these into jelly beans. I'm going to make them into peppermint cookies. And then clovers for probably like St. Patrick's Day. Nothing on here actually says St. Patty's Day, but it does have sending a little luck your way kind of thing. So yeah, I got those out for this I was going to do last month with this set, but I don't remember what I did last month, but I changed my mind. And this month we pulled in this. And so I get to use my peppermints. I'm probably 100%, no, I don't know, but I'm going to say 98% sure we're not selling these little peppermints this year, but I was able to snag some last year and then didn't get to use them. So I am sitting on a mountain of them. So this year I'm going to figure out something to use them on. So I just stuck them on there. Let's get started. I'll draw the freebie on Wednesday for the kit. I have two kits cut. I did manage to get that done when we got home from dinner. And that was actually quite good. I bought a little dessert sampler thing of different baklava. They had it had 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 different kinds of baklava in it. I give the rest to Derek and Mary. They were going to her dad's house to see them, and I just said, take it with you, share it. We don't need to bring it home and eat all that. And it was pretty tasty. Not a real sweet dessert with that honey and pistachios. Most of theirs was pistachios. Maybe baklava is traditionally pistachio. He said one was fig and it had a walnut on the top of it. So I also used this biggest die from Spotlight on Nature Dies. And so that's also one of those things, guys, that a lot of our dies go out really fast too. And my business isn't to that point that I can just keep flush, getting rid of and getting new stuff kind of thing. So I tend to use some things that are retired. And I believe this is one. If not, might be on the last chance list. So my apologies, but any die will work. So we have a 4¼ by 11-inch piece of old olive. We're going to cut this off. Where's my video stand thing all messed up over here? Oh, I had to bring over my thing I do photos in and plug it in. So, okay, yep, I'm onto it. So I want to cut this so this is 5½. I want to cut it 2½ inches off. So you want to leave 3 inches hanging. Make sure I'm spewing out the right, yep. So we want to cut 2½. Now you can use that piece or the piece that goes over here. So that'll come in handy. So now we've got just the front cut down to 3 by 4¼ This is going to be really quick. I tend to make my Christmas cards a little bit faster. To the point, get on with it. And I have this is 3, so my cherry cobbler is cut to 2 7/8 by 4 1/8. And I forgot my glue. Somewhere. All right. So we're going to glue that on. So again, this is 2 7/8 by 4 1/8. I'm going to glue that onto the front. And I have some of the I believe it's called Traditions of Christmas paper. The back sides the front sides got all that pretty gold. Gosh, this piece was gorgeous. But I'm going to use the plaid from the back. And I did get stocked up on some of that paper that they had last Christmas time for I think we had a punch or die set that helped you make a bow. And they had paper that went with it. I got some of that and I was going to use it, but nope, I didn't. So we're going to glue that on. We're going to keep building on that right there. So here now is where I use that circle and it's just about half of it. So it comes out to just 2 3/8 inches ish. You can cut it down. I just wanted it to butt up against the edge here. The sample that I saw that I modeled this after used a doily. So if you got any of the doilies, I think that they had an old one, but if you have any of the ones that are available right now, they I think they're red and white, pink and white. I think they're red and white. My mom had some. I think I saw them. They were red. That's what the sample that I saw had the floofy doily here. And I only had some old retired ones and they were tiny. So I grabbed a decorative circle and put that on there. So if you have the doilies, try that under there. Then I have this piece here was 2.5, so I made a 2.5-inch square and I ran it through with the 3D embossing folder. And we're going to put that just kind of on there type of thing. I'll glue that down. And I don't want it, I kind of, in my head, I'm centering it sort of. So it sticks out over here a little bit. All the way up to the. Oh, thanks, guys. The dies are still available. That's good to know. All right. Then I have a basic white piece, and we're going to stamp our jar. Now, I don't think I'm real fond of the jar in red ink here. My original that I was messing with, I used Secret Sea because that's what this color is. But then I thought, yeah, I don't know if I want to pull that color in or not. So I don't know if you just want to do the jar in black. I got my cherry. We could make a silver lid, possibly, give it a different look. Maybe use red paper and stamp it. I'm not sure. I'm still, the jury's still out on the colors of the jar. But that's what I'm going to use because that's what I made it with. And so I'm going to pull in, and again, I think both of the jars are oh, they're not the same jar. This jar goes all the way, has around the top, more of a full outline of the jar, and this one only goes on the sides. Oh, I don't know what the difference is, but we'll just go ahead and use. We'd have to see what it looks like and, compare it being filled. If the jar filled with candy is going to maybe look different than maybe those elements. The elements maybe are designed to look different in the jar based on the decoration around it. But I got my, you know what? I'm going to use black this time. I'm going to skip the cherry cobbler. I'm going to use black on this jar and just see what we get. I'll use the, I'll still do a red lid, but try a black jar. All right, now here's the next question. How do you line it up to get the jar and the top? How do you know where to line it up? I guess you don't really. Maybe you stamp the lid after the fact. Or you can make a template. How smart would that have been had I... Let me see if I can find it. How smart would that have been? Oh, sometimes my noggin's working. So here's what I used the first time. So let's lay that over here. Like so. And then we'll know to stamp our lid right there. Gosh, I can be so smart sometimes. You guys probably already had that yelling at me. Get a template. What about a silver jar with a bright lid? Ooh, that would be cute too. Oh, Lori, right there. Make a template. Yep. Oh, gosh. All right. So how about, all right, hold on. Flip it over. I'll try Christy here because I got some Versamark. Let's wipe this off. And Lori forgot to say hi. Hi, Lori. So I got it all right here, you guys. We're gonna be cruising right along. So Christy says, let's try a silver jar. So we got some silver here. I got some Versamark. Put some silver on it that I got in something my mom gave me, some silver embossing powder. Yes, I forgot to put my little embossing buddy on it, so who knows if it's gonna be. All right, let's heat that baby up. When I knocked off most of my silver, but we'll get the idea here. Okay, so there's our silver. And Christy said, what about a silver jar with a bright lid? So bright. Well, we're gonna go with red because that's as bright as we got over here. Otherwise, I got pink. So now let's get our template. Where'd that go? Put our jar down there. We're going to punch it. And then we'll put a red lid. Hopefully I got that in the hole. Got it? No. Oh, it looks pretty good. Now we can punch that out. That should line right up in there. I highly recommend a bigger piece of paper. There we go. So that I gotta lick my finger and push it around in there. Okay, I'll punch that. And there we go. We got our silver jar with a red lid. And yeah. Then I'm going to take my cookies from the same set. These, again, I'm calling them cookies. You could probably turn them into jelly beans. We're going to call them cookies. All right, so we got our cookies. And I'm going to make the cookies. I wanted them sugar cookies, but I guess I could have tried lemon lolly. My basic beige stamps really kind of a greenish tone. So I said, So I went with pink because pink, sometimes I see peppermint cookies in pink. So I'm going to stamp off and then I'm going to stamp them down again. So that they come out a light pink. That was lighter than I probably wanted them to be, but that'll work. And then I'm going to put the little dots on them. And my thinking for my cookies, these are peppermint bark or peppermint, what do you call them? Starlight mints kind of thing, peppermints that are all crushed up. So these are crushed up candies that are going to go on top of our cookies. So I do have a Melon Mambo Stampin' Right on the clearance rack. Get yours before they're gone. If you don't have markers, they do come in handy. And I have a real red. And you can't really tell the difference in the two, but I just wanted to show you anyway a fun technique. It's called thumping. And so it works really good if you're doing, if you've got like the trees, some of the tree stamps where it's filled with leaves. You just take your markers and you just do this. You just like thump down. You just let it mash down on top of it, your stamp, and then you just continually change colors. So if we were doing fall, we could do yellow and green and red and orange and whatever colors you wanted your leaves to be. But we're just going to thump it down and get all those little dots covered up. Huff on it, so we're going to breathe real heavy, moisten it all back up, and then I'm going to try and find my cookies. It might be up too high. And then put our little peppermint chips on top of our cookies. So they didn't look too shabby. They're a little bit wonky, but hey, they're homemade cookies, so they're not supposed to be perfect, right? We're going to pop this guy up, but first I have some ribbon. And again, you guys, whatever you got handy, use it up. Would I love it if I had, people buying every single thing I used? You bet. But I also know the cost of things today and budgets and everything that goes with it. So use up what you got. And then come back and buy more. So I'm going to trim that off a little bit. And I'm just going to stick it underneath. I couldn't decide if I wanted it under the green piece and sticking out over here, and then this guy was just hanging here alone, or if I wanted it sticking under the jar. And obviously you could see I went with it sticking under the jar. So I'm just going to stick it down to my big old dimensional. I think I need a little piece of tape though, just to help that stay on there. Oh, I got so much stuff packed in that drawer when I reorganize. I'm just gonna tape this down, and I'm not gonna peel the backing off. We'll just leave it like that to help it. And then I'll put another little piece just because I gotta go the other direction on this way. And that way we know it's gonna stay. So then we're gonna glue that on the front. Come down just a smidge so I can fit my lid on there. And I need a small pieces. Oh, that was probably loud. Sorry. I should take this silly thing off, but I was pretty proud of getting that at one of our backstage events. Not backstage. It was back in the day they called them center stage. When you went to Stampin' Up events on the first night, like before it started kind of thing, they had a little, well, it got smaller and smaller over the years, but they had like a little banquet kind of thing for, it's just not jiving, silver elites, and then you'd get a little something something, usually like matched. You still get a little something something. They just, now if you go to an event, they have like a room you can go to, and then they have snacks and drinks and things in there throughout the whole day. Yeah, I didn't think that one through very well. And so, and you always get a little gift that used to kind of match the bag that we'd get, I think. That was back before I started getting them. But these little charms, scissors charms, were something we got one time. Might have been even at an at-home event, and I got them Got it here. There, so then I'm going to just stick the little lid on there. Looks cute, Christy. Good idea. But I'm not sticking down. I got to put another dimensional under it. See if I can stick it to the... I don't want it sticking up that high. There, it looked too loosey-goosey for me. You could even put your jar lid on, you know, half crooked if you wanted to, kind of like hanging off the side. Then I'm just going to take some white here, and I'm going to use the other stamp set, the Jar of Joy. It's got kind of some Christmassy sayings in it. So I'm going to use this Sending a Jar Full of Cheer. Greeting. Get my... Oh, didn't bring my cleaner. We're going to use Cherry Cobbler. We'll have to improvise. And I'm just going to do Sending a Jar. Put that over towards the edge. Oops, I just went crooked, but that's not going to matter because we're going to cut it apart. Hold on to that. Speaking of holding on to that, I was at the gym the other day. This girl got on one of those elliptical things ahead of me, in the row ahead of me, and she had one of those wristlets with all of her keys hanging off from it and all of, I don't even know what was on it, but it was huge. And this thing's making a bunch of noise, just what I'm doing here. She was doing that elliptical, moving her arms with that wristlet hanging off, just banging around on the machine while she was trying to exercise. And she finally did this. She grabbed all the keys and put them in her hand. I don't know why she didn't just take it off and hang it on the with the handle thing that was there. But you know, to each their own. Just thought it was a little strange, but yeah. And so she must not have went like into the locker room to put stuff down. I saw Christy's daughter and granddaughter there last week. And then I saw her daughter alone the other day. It's kind of fun to see people that, you know, even though I don't really talk to people, I smile at them, and I'm usually huffing and puffing too bad to stop and talk. And I don't want to be there all day. A couple people that they talk and talk and talk. There's one gentleman that I don't think he works, and he just walks around talking to everybody and anybody, but not me and Mike. We don't talk to him. Don't make eye contact with him, because he will follow you and stand wherever you're at for however long you're there and talk. And it's like, no, Tyler, go away. I want to get out of here. But nobody does. They're all nice to him. They all talk to him. So now we're going to put our piece on the inside that is 4 by 5 1/4. But we're going to wash our stamp off. No, I'm not going to wash it. I didn't bring my washer. We're going to use Old Olive now, and we're going to ink the Full of Cheer portion up. And we'll mask it with this little piece of... So we want to just put Full of Cheer down here in the bottom. And if it was a Post-it, I could just hold it up there like that. It's not stuck there, so we fumble. But if you have a Post-it, rip the Post-it, stick it on the stamp. There we go, Full of Cheer. Stamp that down right there. And this is why, because I would have gotten that all over the rest of it. and then I'd have had to do it again. So now we can glue that on to the inside. Oh, and I dried up. Trying to think what we got going on for Stampin' Up. Oh, we still got our join special. Anybody's not a demonstrator that is watching, now's a perfect time to stock up on your supplies. You're not obligated to do anything, to ever sign on or anything, unless you want to. Love it if you wanted to. Have fun with us. But you don't have to. You can take the goodies and run. Well, not run, but, you know, hide out. Don't do anything with it. But yeah, it's such a good deal. I wish Reed was closer. I'd get her signed up again. All right, so then I glued that to the inside. But then she might want to actually stamp one day, and then what would I'd have to hire a new international remote creative director. Okay, so now we're done with that. And now we're just going to put some of these little cute peppermints on there. And we'll just kind of put them all around. We don't, we have this space to write in, so we don't really have to be too careful, as long as it's visible here. I'm chatting and not paying attention where I'm putting my little peppermints. Let's see, let's have our fun word be jar. We'll do jar. So if you want to be in the drawing for the kit, and then I'm gonna put this little teeny weeny one on the of, full of cheer. And so comment jar if you want to be in the kit, drawing for the kit. I will do that, like I said, on Wednesday. And that's it, you guys. There's our little card. Quick and easy. Something fun for Christmas if you're looking for a quick and easy card. Obviously, replace this with whatever paper you got at home. If you don't have the jar, replace it with any ornament, whatever you got. I'm trying to think what else. A snowflake. Yeah, all kinds of goodies. Dig through your stash and see what you got. So that's it, you guys. Let's see. I will come back to me. I don't know what I did there. I pressed the wrong button. I switched it around, but it's not going to matter because I don't have anything to show you. So that's it. Ho, ho, ho. It is so cold here right now. My cat is even in front of the little heater that I keep on down here. And this cat is the one, she didn't go in front of the heater. It was my other cat that passed that slept in front of the heater. She's been in front of the heater all day today. So good thing it's low because she's right on top of it. She probably would be little ball of fire here if she got too close. Oh, it's not that. It's one of those oil heater things, so she's not gonna. No kitty was burned in the process of getting warm in front of my heater. No kitty was harmed. Leave it at that. You guys have a great rest of your night. Have an awesome week next week. And it's the end of October. I will see you on Wednesday. Have a great night, everybody. Bye.